Breaking news. We are learning Jeff Fager, the veteran executive producer of CBS's 60 Minutes, is leaving amid allegations of inappropriate conduct. The allegations included unwanted touching. They were first reported by Ronan Farrow in The New Yorker. Fager has denied these allegations. So let's go to our CNN senior media correspondent, Brian Stelter. And Brian, I've read Jeff Fager's statement, and he is saying his departure, he says it has nothing to do with Ronan Farrow's New Yorker piece.
And I find that very hard to believe, and I think most people at CBS find that very hard to believe, Brooke. But yes, I'll show you his statement in just a moment. First, I want to flash back 6 weeks, because all of this started 6 weeks ago when Ronan Farrow's story came out of The New Yorker. It had those allegations against Les Moonves, the CEO of CBS, but also against Fager. Farrow spoke to sources, 6 sources, who said that Fager had made unwanted advances over the years, unwanted touching and things like that. He also spoke to other sources who said that Fager enabled a culture, a toxic culture of harassment at 60 Minutes. This was very sad to read on so many levels. Sad for the women involved, sad for the program. After all, 60 Minutes is the best known, best watched news magazine in America. But this was a problem inside the news magazine. All throughout August, Fager was vowing to stay on, vowing not to leave the network. But now here we are, 2 days after Moonves left, Fager is leaving as well.
Do you know how were staff at CBS made aware of this?
I think some people at the network were kind of worried about who's going to come, who's going to take over. We'll see about that down the road. But a memo did just go out to staff, tell them about Fager's announcement, saying it was effective immediately. Now take a look at Fager's side of the story here, Brooke. Fager is saying this was not about the Farrow allegations. He says the company's decision had nothing to do with the New Yorker and those, quote, false allegations. Instead, they terminated my contract early because I sent a text message to one of our own reporters demanding that she be fair in covering the story. So read this, Brooke, see if you believe this. Fager says, my language was harsh, and despite the fact that journalists receive harsh demands for fairness all the time, CBS did not like it. One such note should not result in termination after 36 years, but it did. So Fager is saying this has nothing to do with harassment allegations. I have to admit, I'm kind of surprised by the reaction, but that is Fager's side of the story. Meantime, what's happening at CBS, Brooke, is there's this ongoing investigation by 2 different law firms into the allegations against Fager, the allegations against Moonves. So this is very much an ongoing problem for CBS. But just think about where we are. 1 year ago, Les Moonves was the boss, Charlie Rose was the star, Fager was the producer. Now all 3 men have left CBS.
That's a headline on a CBS this hour. Let's switch gears because you are in Cupertino, California for the huge Apple event. So what was the big unveil today?
Yeah, I have to admit, I thought the Fager announcement would come later in the week. I'm here in Cupertino because this is Apple Day. This is almost like Apple's national holiday where they come out, they unveil the new iPhones and new products. The event's still going on, Brooke, but we've heard about several new iPhones, including one called the XS. It's like tennis, XS, okay? So I have to learn how to pronounce it right. This is going to be the new top-of-the-line iPhone, the XS Max. It's going to have a bigger screen than the current iPhone 10. It's probably going to cost a little bit more money, and it's, of course, as with everything Apple, they always promise more and more and more. So more space for your photos, a better camera, a better processor. But I'm actually most impressed by the Apple Watch announcements. These are really interesting announcements about the new Apple Watch. I have the old one on, but the new one's going to be a little bit bigger, and it's going to monitor your heart in brand new ways that have been approved by the FDA. So now Apple will be checking your heart rhythm, seeing if you have atrial fibrillation. The new Apple Watch will even be able to take an electrocardiogram to see how your heart's doing. I gotta be honest, if these devices stress us out so much, these devices cause us to go wild, the least they can do is check our health.
Oh my goodness. Brian Stelter, thank you for the update on Apple.